Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new video. Today we are joined by ourselves here in Da Nang, Vietnam, reading a very special book given to us by a very special friend. And this book is, of course, written by Sadhguru, and it's talking about death. We will open up the book in random locations and start reading very basic scriptures here. This book is a consecrated book, meaning every single sentence and paragraph and chapter in this book is something that can potentially change your life forever. And in the meantime, we will allow some viewers to join in. If you have questions, as always, my friends, write them out. And this will be a spiritual live stream. We will live stream for approximately 1 hour, and we'll see if we can go back to Dr. Rob after this and do some more entertaining stuff. But I wanted to do this and engage with the people that are just following my live streams to give back to the community, create some positive energy, and help you grow spiritually, first and foremost. Welcome, Mr. Zhao. Welcome, good to see you here. So if you're tuning in, let me know if you have some spiritual questions, what is happening with you, where you're tuning in from, what your life is like, and we'll get started very soon. Welcome. As you can see, I'm here by myself. Dr. Rob is not here. Do you need a cat? Somebody says, I have a cat in Canada and I will not get a cat ever again. Cats require food and they require meat a lot of the time, so not the most conducive thing to feed a cat an animal-based diet, because it's immoral and unethical. But we're not here to talk about cats, we're here to talk about spirituality, my friends. Every time that you see me on this live stream, I'm going to share with you insights that I've gained throughout my day that have relevance to you. That's the intention that I make. And I know this will be powerful for you because, simply put, that's the intention that I just made. Which means that the insights that I have will be directly going towards helping you evolve and helping you transform your mind and getting clarity in your mind. And how do I know that? Because people are tuning in. People are part of this spiritual community. And whatever you need to know I can be a vessel for that. I can be a conduit for that. So somebody's asking, when is the Kailash Yatra? That's happening in August. August 31st is when you need to be in Manasur or in Kathmandu. So you should watch the video that I posted with the coordinator of Kailash. It's on my YouTube channel. It's one of the most recent videos, and it will give you all the important information that you need for that. And if you're serious about going, visit my website, shivakailash.com/events, and sign up to reserve your spot. So today we're going to be reading from this very special book that was gifted to me by a special friend. And my friend, I have something very important, a very big secret to share with you about this book that's going to come up in a few seconds or a few moments. We're going to allow more people to join. And cats naturally hunt other animals and eat them. That's nature, that's true. And if you have that kind of a requirement or necessity that you have a lot of rodents or rats in your place, you should get a cat, because a cat takes care of that. But I don't believe feeding cats pigs or chickens or cows. Why should another animal be forced to the end of the line, the end of its life, to feed a cat? That seems crazy to me. I see some people feeding dogs and cats ground beef, which is a cow, much more highly evolved and intelligent life form than a cat, which is basically a crime against nature to do that, simply put. So I don't believe in doing that at all. And Siddhartha Shiva says, I need help. Let me know what you need help with. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. Write them out if they're, and I will answer them. So animal foods, that is meat, is immoral, but letting them hunt is okay. well, you can't stop a cat from hunting. That's their nature. And that's the cat's karma. I wouldn't suggest you getting a cat at all in the first place. It's not something that's conducive for your spiritual growth. But if you need to, then I guess go right ahead. Egyptians worshipped cats. The Egyptians did a lot of weird things, including scoop out their brains before they died because they thought that the brains needed to be kept clean in case you need it in the afterlife. Just because some civilization did something 5,000 years ago, it doesn't mean that you should do it too. I don't know how long the Egyptians were alive, but thousands of years ago. So, my friends, if you're here, if you have spiritual questions, write them out, and please write them out in the form of a super chat. I'm happy to receive your donations, your super chats, and I'll read them out for the community to hear, as well as I'll go in depth with the question that you want. I think this is very fair, a very fair contribution. And if you don't have a super chat, well, just read it out and hope that I'll answer it. Shiva, please take things the wrong way. Your eyes are really shrinking. I wrote the poem about you in Jersey. My eyes are not shrinking. My eyes are the same size that they've been since I was born. Are you some sort of narcissist special in the answers? No, I'm not. So I'm glad I found you. You had to set his face when you see the left-hand chat. Oh, okay, I'll have to go back and see that. Yes, this is definitely way better. So my friends, we're gonna go ahead and start reading from this. I recommend that you just stay chill, stay relaxed, because this is a potent book. And we're gonna read the first sentence, or the first sentence of the first paragraph. Let's see what Sadhguru has to say. We're not only going to be reading about, we're not gonna be reading linearly. We're gonna skip to various parts of the book randomly, spontaneously, and see what message is needed for this to be brought forward. I think this is going to be relevant. So in the first chapter, it is asking, what is death? And it quotes a small paragraph. It reads, death is the most fundamental question, yet people can ignore it, avoid it, and just live on in their ignorance simply because all kinds of idiotic stories have been spread in the world in the name of religion. So people live avoiding death, avoiding thinking and questioning death, living in ignorance with all kinds of idiotic, stupid stories because of religion. What is more important to talk about in our lives than death? I know this is quite a gloomy topic and not something that's very high energy and engaging, but you should definitely move out and click out of this live stream if you are not going to die, and if you are a permanent entity, and if death has no effect on you, if you're not going to die. But if you are going to die, this is an important live stream for you to watch. This is an important place for you to be, and I recommend you stay tuned because this has the power to change your life. Death is something that I think about a lot of the times, and death is the only problem that I see in life. Death is, it comes for us all. It's the most depressing thing, yet it is the most liberating thing. And people avoid death. People don't want to think about death. People want to talk about life, and in some cultures it's even seen as inappropriate to talk about death because you may invite death faster. That's completely the wrong view. Thinking about death, investigating death, contemplating death, questioning death is one of the most important things you can do in order for you to evolve spiritually. Not only that, but in most important quality in life, the most important action you can take in life. The worst thing that can happen is you go towards your deathbed, and actually you've never thought about death. You're on your deathbed, but this is a totally new experience. And if you've never thought about death, probably you haven't taken actions in your life that are appropriate for you to live in a way that when you are in your deathbed, you're not totally freaked out, or you're not totally discombobulated, or you're not totally deathly afraid. So that's most people. So we'll allow some time for people to ask their questions. Please ask your question in the form of a super chat, and I'll happily read it out loud for everybody to hear. That's the best way to go about this. And otherwise, we'll continue reading this book. This book, by the way, was signed by Sadhguru. Sadhguru himself signed this book. This is Sadhguru's own signature. As well as, one other thing I should share with you, I think it's also relevant. Well, we'll save that for a little bit later. And let's see what's at the end of this book. Oh man, I love Sadhguru. So my friends, if you have spiritual questions, write them out in the form of a super chat and I'll read them out loud. Once you made the mistake for sitting with me in some way, you already fixed. Unless you really want to fall off and really want to go against it within yourself. Otherwise, in many ways, you are sorted. I don't want to interfere with your life, but your death, I usually hold it in my hands. This is contrary to the general thought that we should go somewhere after death, which is essentially perpetuity of life, a human fallacy that life doesn't end, but we go into different ambience of existence, either a good one called heaven or a bad one called hell. But a perpetuity either way. Life is not perpetual, it is cyclical. Breaking the compulsive cycle of life is called liberation. From the ambit of compulsive revolutions, to evolve beyond the limitations of a cyclical life. This is what is ultimately about. Conscious evolution, not revolution. Oh man. Definitely the people that you surround yourself have impact on your spirituality. Listen to this, my friends. Listen to me guiding you towards the endless universe, to the emptiness of space. Listen to the silence right now that's happening in this moment. You may be in the most loudest place possible, but the silence is still there. It's always there. This silence, most people want to avoid. I'll read your question in a moment, Born Bad Brains. But this silence is what leads to your liberation. And I'm not talking about regular silence, like I'm in a Vietnamese hotel. It is silent. I can hear some crickets outside, but compared to everyday life, it's extremely silent. I may even travel somewhere where it's so silent you can barely hear anything, only the sound of your breath and the beat of your heart. That's silence. But there's a deeper silence than that. The silence of nothingness, of emptiness. This is something that we all want to avoid. Why? Because it leads to the conclusion of your life. It leads to you dropping your facade, you dropping all the fake things in your life, you dropping your illusions. And my God, do we have many illusions? People think that illusions are bad. They are bad. People think maybe even that you don't have any illusions and you would never hold on to your illusions, but we do hold on to our illusions. We hold on to our illusions very deeply. So when you start to focus on the silence, this real silence, it destroys all the illusions in your mind. All the ignorance in your life gets destroyed. The Buddha talked about this. He said that a person that reaches the silence, even for one moment, breaks free from the cycle of life and death permanently and is in a fast track to enlightenment. There really isn't anything he can do except to become enlightened within a certain length of time. This is called stream entry, or the first stage of awakening, just touching the silence. So people here don't understand what I'm talking about. They're asking me weird questions. This is one of the most hardest things to understand as a human being. Yet I can prove this even with science. Maybe I should take out my laptop and fact check it, but from what I understand, from what I assume, in an atom, only about 1% is actual tangible matter, but 99% is empty space. It's nothing. And atoms is what we're all made up of. It's what the whole universe is made up of, actually. So we can logically conclude or deduce that the majority of the universe is empty space. This empty space is what I'm talking about, the silence. This is the silence. This is the silence that you try to reach in meditation. And this is why it's so hard. Because again, the moment you touch the silence, all of your illusions gets destroyed. You start to understand the truth, the deep nature of this reality and existence. My friends, if you're here, if you want to ask a spiritual question, write it in the form of a super chat. I'm going to read it out loud, and we'll all get to benefit. And this is a small reciprocation you can do to have me talk upon the subject that you want me to talk upon, and I'll be very happy to do that. And in exchange, you pay for the food that I eat, which I'm supported by. So thank you very much for your support in advance. Let's read a super chat that was sent by one of our members. So Born Bad Brains, thank you very much for your super chat. And he says or asks, what do you personally believe happens upon death? That's a very good question. That's a fantastic question. And for whatever reason, I have a tendency to not give the satisfaction of answering questions. I want to answer the question in many ways. So I'm gonna try to answer your question, but first I wanna say that I don't know. I don't really know what happens upon death. Sadhguru says that life continues. That's my strong belief and conviction that this life continues. In fact, I know this to be as certainty as anything else. As this body breaks apart, this body is just a physical casing, but the life that is inside this body is the more fundamental aspect. If the body breaks, the life leaves, and the life enters a new womb, if that's the conditions that are set for that. Either that happens or life goes somewhere else, into a different plane, into an angelic plane, into an angel body or realm, or into hell. Sometimes, if you've done the necessary work, life just disappears, and all that's left is emptiness. No more you. So that's what we're all aiming for as spiritual beings, is to liberate ourselves from the cycles of birth and death, from coming and going, here and there, up and down, positive and negative. If you have questions, send it in the form of a super chat. I'll read it out loud and I'll answer you. But fundamentally, on a deeper level, my friends, This question points to something much more significant, and this is the way that I would like to answer. The fact that I don't know, actually, I don't know what happens upon death. I don't even know what is right now. I don't know why I am or who I am. I don't know what this is. I don't know why I'm alive. I don't know why I'm born. I don't know why I wake up every morning. I don't know why I eat. Well, it tastes good, I know that much. I don't know why I sleep. I don't know many things. This not knowing, people also want to get away from. People want to know. They want to read books. They want to be educated. They want to hold up weight upon their head. Look how many kilograms and tons of steel of knowledge I have inside of this. I'm a very important, well-educated human being. You have to trust me. You can trust me. I have high status. Look at my knowledge. I must be, because I have all this knowledge. This is not the way. Thankfully, ChatGPT has more knowledge than you can ever acquire in 1,000 years. Maybe not 1,000 years, but 100 years for sure, guaranteed. Your knowledge is useless, pretty much. And knowledge is not how we measure human beings. We measure human beings with wisdom, with their presence, with their character. So when somebody asks me a question, saying I don't know feels like, well, I shouldn't say that. If I don't know, what value do I have? But the trick is, the key is, my friends, not knowing. Not knowing helps you fall into this emptiness. Not knowing helps you fall into this stillness and silence. I don't know is the most accurate statement you can ever make. What do you know? Tell me one thing you know. You don't know anything. I do not share donations with my friend. I have never shared donations. And if you want to ask me a question here, feel free to send a super chat and I will happily read it out loud and answer you. So this knowledge comes as a result of Sadhguru. Sadhguru is the person that wrote this book. I will show you his signature here. You can see a conscious man by the way he writes. And this is his signature. This is how conscious the man is. You can see the energy, you can see the vibration, you can see it. Next, what I would like to show you before we have questions coming up on the live stream is this. This is an airplane ticket that was given to me for first class or business class. This is the first time this has ever happened. And business class. So I kept it, I saved it in this book here because of virtue. Let's now start talking about the things that I know on a small scale. Meaning, of course, I know things relatively speaking. I must know things in order for me to function in this world. I know how to put on my clothes, I know how to put on this turban, I know how to do many things. But in the ultimate sense, if you want awakening, if you want clarity, if you want deeper perception into life, you can't know. It's not possible to know anything. So now let me start talking about the small relative things that I know. I know about how to make your Mr. E, you are confused and it's a shame that the membership was gifted to you. Now I'm going to put you into a timeout. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm gonna talk about why I muted him for a second, as well as mention a deeper level of what this is and why this is like this. My friends, on a small level, what do I know? I know about how to make your life a better place. A better place meaning this life inside of you, not your overall life. Your overall life will also reflect your inner life. You may be in the most decrepit position in the world. You may be homeless, you may be starving, you may have no assets, no money, no reputation. You may have no possessions to you at all. And that may be the case, but inside you may be blissful. That you can still call that person a rich man, because life inside is what makes you rich. But a person that's broke inside. The life energy is decrepit, did so many things, lied, steal, cheated, killed to get the quote unquote material wealth that he has, but inside he's broken, inside he's depleted. That's a poor man. I would not call that man a rich man. If you have both those things, then you're a wealthy man. You're a god, we can even say. So ask your questions in the form of super chat or statements or comments, and I'll read them out loud. If not, I'm going to continue on. So how do you make your inner life to be wealthy? Because that's the priority. The priority is not getting wealthy outside. That doesn't really... If you get inside wealthy, the outside will naturally take its place. That's just the natural laws of life. The inside precedes the outside. The inside comes first, and then the outside happens. That's why in my previous live stream with Dr. Rob, I mentioned that I never focused on money. I lived with my parents for a long time, and why I'm in the situation that I am in now. Because my priority, my first and fundamental goal was mastering myself. Whatever I am, that is the product that I'm going to produce. And I want to produce valuable products. How can a poor, destroyed, broken machine produce a high quality product? Has that ever happened? It's unlikely. And if it ever has happened, it's a mistake or it's an accident. In a factory, if there's a machine that's broken down, it's not going to produce high quality products. Similarly, you as a human being, if you're a high quality human being, you can produce high quality things. High quality things in terms of a laptop or a computer or a machine, that's like I have here, for example. This is a relatively high quality machine. It's a laptop, it's touchscreen, it folds into a tablet, you can fold it upside down. It's a wonderful machine. It took intelligence, it took planning, it took wisdom and insight, studying so much matter and physics to create this thing. And we're very thankful that people created this piece of technology. Mwah. Amazing, and I value it very much. It couldn't have come from a broken person or a spiritually unintelligent person or just an unintelligent person. Spirituality really has nothing to do with creating technology like that. But my point is, my friends, going back to this, if you're a high quality being, you will produce high quality products. And producing technology, high quality technology, is the periphery. That's not really what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the quality of your energy, your presence, your vibration, your vibe overall. How you are just when life interacts with you, how you are when you go outside and you go next to a tree, you stand next to the tree, and how the tree responds to you. That's what I call a high quality product. So how does one become a high quality product? I'm going to answer you. I'm going to tell you the actual formula for becoming a high quality product. If you have questions or if you have comments, send in the form of a super chat. There's 100 people here. I can't read them all. I can't skim through all the questions. That would be irresponsible and inappropriate. So if you have questions, I will talk about it in depth. So send a super chat, and I'm very happy to move forward with that. There's a story, a fantastic story by the Buddha, okay? It goes like this, that Buddhist monks were walking in the forest and they were meditating. And the Buddha tradition, the Buddha says that angels live inside of the trees. Angels choose trees to live in, meaning earth angels. Some angels live in different dimensions, but earth angels choose trees. And sometimes when human beings walk by these trees, they smell the human beings and they're repulsed by the human beings. The smell of the human beings is repulsive to the angels. So once upon a time, a group of monks were walking through the forest and they decided to sit in a place. They thought it was an adequate place to meditate, and they began to meditate. And the angels saw that there were human beings next to them, and they were very upset. So they started turning into the forms of demons and trying to scare these monks away because they understood the reputation of human beings. So then the monks got scared. They went to the Buddha and asked. The Buddha uses insight to perceive what was happening and explained to them what's actually happening, and said, you take this mantra and you go back to the same forest, you chant this mantra, and it'll all be resolved. The monks were hesitant, but yeah, the monks were hesitant, but they did just that. And the mantra that was given to them is the loving kindness mantra. So the monks went into the forest and said, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful, and may all beings be liberated." So the angels were quite hesitant at first, but they started to understand that this is okay, this is acceptable, and they felt the subtle vibrations of love, loving kindness, and they dissolved their hatred. And in fact, they became more pleasant and positive to the monks, giving them gifts, etc., or offerings. So the general idea is that human beings stink to angels. They don't stink physically, by the way. They don't stink like you have bad breath or you don't wear deodorant or something like that, no. But they stink energetically. They stink of immorality. And I don't know if you ever come across a person that has living a very bad and immoral life, but okay, so it looks like we are getting a lot of people that are a little bit confused in this live stream, so we are going to turn the chat into something that's a little bit different. And we're gonna see how quickly these people go. You're still welcome to chat if you're part of this community, and you're still welcome to ask your questions, and I would encourage you asking your questions, but I want to move on. I want to continue on saying the things I want to say. So goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, the haters. And I hope you go hate. The best place to hate is the mirror, because that the only consequence of that hatred is going towards the appropriate person. So hatred is not solved by hatred, my friends. If you think that I'm bad, if you think that I'm evil, and you're sending me hatred, then that is like saying you're burning on fire, let me throw more fire into you. That is not the way. That's not wise. So generate some loving kindness towards me, and maybe I will change. So thank you Bored by Brains, thank you Liquid for your gift, or your gift. And if you have spiritual questions, you can write in the form of a super chat. That's the only way this message will be read. And I'll continue on. So immorality, my friends, is what makes you stink. Immorality. People, and I've experienced this firsthand, it's not a concept, people that live their lives in bad ways, they do crimes, they live badly, they live immorally, and I'll explain what immorally means. It's a very loaded word here. They stink. Their energy is bad. You can sit around them, you can feel them, and it's distorting, it's discordant. It's like listening to heavy metal music. Have you ever listened to heavy metal music? It is, okay, if you're in that kind of vibration and you listen to it, it may feel good because you're vibrating at that frequency. If I then came to you and played classical music right after you listen to that, it may be uncomfortable. Because the classical music is forcing you to go much higher vibration. Classical music is one of the most positive vibrations you can listen to, and I often listen to classical music. So this changes your body, this changes the molecules in your blood, this changes your chemistry, this changes so much about you. Immorality, bad actions, bad livelihood, bad lifestyle. And this is why angels say that human beings stink. They stink of immorality. So what I do know for a fact, some little things that I do know on this planet, is that, or at least I think I know, or I don't know for sure, but I'm leading more towards this direction, is that morality is a critical thing for you to follow and abide by in this life, in this game of life. We're living this game as we have these human characters, you too. We don't know where we're going, where we came from, but for sure you know you woke up today. Most likely you're going to wake up tomorrow, and you woken up for how many days you've been alive for. And hopefully you're going to be awake for a long time, for 80, 90, 100, 120 years in good health. I wish that for you. You also know that you're going to have to go eat food and go to the bathroom and shower and sleep, etc. So there are training principles, there's rules that you can live by, laws that you must follow in order for you to avoid a bad life. Avoid painful things from happening to you. Avoid your life from becoming decrepit, your life from becoming poor and uncomfortable. And that is morality. And I'll explain to you what morality is. So again, if you have questions, send a super chat and we'll answer it. So, my friends, this is worthwhile. This is worthwhile for you to pursue over the long period of your life. Yes. Over the period of your long life, this must be upheld by you. You must take this upon yourself. You must act upon this. You must do this because this will make you wealthy inside, and slowly it'll make you wealthy outside. I have no fear in terms of the money aspect of things, and whatever has to happen will have to happen, and things will go on just the way they are, because I know inside I'm growing. And if inside I'm growing, nothing outside is going to stop me or prevent me or be an obstacle that I can't solve. My energy is way more powerful than the material world around me. And the material world will submit and fold itself to me because of my vibration, because of my frequency, my high frequency. It's not because I'm special, it's not because I'm unique, it's not because I'm named Shiva or Yuri, whatever it was, where I was born in. No, it's because of things that I've done, actions that I've taken, the lifestyle that I've upheld, and the values that I hold dearly and hold and possess. And now I wish to impart this onto you and to share this upon you. So if this is going to continue being a long-standing thing, and we're going to continue growing this community, and you're going to continue following the things that I'm saying, this is step number 1. If you don't follow the step, you cannot claim that you're someone that supports me or follows my channel or listens to me or abides by the things that I share. It just doesn't work like that. This is step 1 of being alive on planet Earth. Not just in my community. As a human being, you must abide by these laws. So without further ado, I've held up this time long enough. I'm going to share with you. It's very simple, and I've mentioned this before. You may not be surprised. It is the 5 moral precepts. When I explain it, you're going to understand why and how this is just nature's laws. This is like the laws of nature or the laws of physics. These cannot be broken. If you break them, you are going to be punished instantaneously, and you're going to suffer miserably. I didn't make the rule, it's just how the universe works. And after hearing this, you can go back to doing this in all good conscience, knowing what you know. Once you know that investing in crypto pump and dumps is going to make you lose your money, you can't, with all good reason, go and do that. You know the consequences. So do not kill living beings is step number 1, which means if there's a fly flying in your room, you avoid killing it. If there's a bug on the floor, you don't step on it. If there's a rat crawling through your property, you don't shoot it. If there's a deer passing around in the forest, you don't hunt it. If there's a cow sitting in front of you, you don't slit its throat and eat it as a hamburger. If there's a chicken flying around, you don't scrunch its neck and put it on your burger. You avoid killing living beings. We can go more into depth with this, and this is very self-explanatory. You don't want to kill living beings because it hurts. It hurts you, it hurts them. Nobody wants death, nobody wants pain. And you inflicting pain upon others is not going to lead to your advantage at all, ever. So, it's very simple. You just don't kill living beings. I haven't killed a single living being in more than 10 years, with some small exceptions, and I'm willing to share those small exceptions with you. It's not something that I'm proud of, but it's something that I have done and did, which is the exception of mosquitoes. When a mosquito flies in my hotel room, in the past I've tried to catch it in so many ways and spent hours of trying to catch them morally and try to push them out. Sometimes that didn't happen and they would bite me. Only until I grew a little bit older in age, now I just kill them. Only if they're inside in my room. If they're outside, I never kill mosquitoes, I brush it off. And I feel the consequences of killing mosquitoes, by the way. I always feel the consequences. So it's not something you want to do. So killing mosquito, the consequence of ending a little insect's life versus going and killing a pig or a mammal or some other more intelligent, more evolved life form. My God, I cannot imagine the consequences of that. Thank God I never went hunting. Thank God I never did anything that's extreme like that. Also, I forgot to mention, I went to Australia and I hunted some fish. I shot 2 fish, which is also, that's just like a lapse in judgment, lapse in being in the southern hemisphere, thinking I'm going to make a total change in my life, still being confused in some sense, thinking that hunting and I'm going to hunt my food and just earn my own food and I'm not going to pay for food. No, I paid the consequences for that. It took a while for me to resolve that within my own heart. So being that has a heart that doesn't want to die, you're connected to all things, you killing living beings is not the way to go. So I recommend joining the members only channel so you can comment, as well as sending super chats if you want to have a question read. If you want to talk to me or send me a comment or a question, send a super chat. So that's step number one, my friends, not killing living beings. So number two is avoiding stealing things. Most of us don't steal if we're in the northern hemisphere or in a favorable condition, a favorable country, a first world country, because you have the things that you want. But still, sometimes people steal. And why shouldn't you steal? Because it hurts people. You know that you stealing something is going to make the person depressed or sad, or you're taking away a possession that they need. And also, stealing involves wrong views, wrong intentions. You thinking that you have there's a lack or a scarcity of things, or you need somebody else's possession, or you can't get it yourself, or you're lazy. It's just not the way. What's your level of spiritual insight? That's a good question, and I don't know. I have no way of measuring that or comparing that. Listen to me talk, listen to me explain things, and you judge for yourself the level of spiritual insight that I have. So stealing things is not the right way. Don't steal things. That is step number two. If you steal things, you're stealing from a bad intention, and the intention hurts you. You will also suffer the consequences. Stealing is not as severe as killing. Killing is very severe, but stealing is also severe. You steal things from others, little things, big things, it doesn't matter. And stealing means taking things that aren't yours. So stealing things from animals can also be considered as stealing. Like stealing eggs, for example. The chicken doesn't want you to take its egg, it fights for the egg. The bees also don't want you to take the bees, they fight for their food. Sometimes the cow will allow you to milk it, that's kind of the only exception. So you don't want to steal, you want to live a blameless life. That's what this is all about. That's number two. Number three is sexual misconduct. Sexual misconduct can be basically sums up anything that's illegal or immoral or things that hurt others. I'm going to answer your question in a second. What tradition of Buddhism do you practice? Theravada tradition. Theravada, the way of the elders, that's what it means. So sexual misconduct is illegal activity, or people that are protected with their parents, or forcing yourself upon someone, very severe crimes that involve victims. If it doesn't involve a victim, if you're consenting adults and you're doing things in your bedroom, whatever you may be doing, perfectly fine. We have no business of going towards what you're doing unless you start hurting the other person. Then that's a consequence, And hurting the other person with the caveat that they don't like it. Sometimes, whatever, let's go, I'm going too far, but hopefully you can read between the lines. And yeah, so any kind of sexual misconduct is also immoral. Again, when I talk about sexual misconduct, the intention matters. When you intend to hurt someone with your body because you have sexual desires, that is what the most severe crime is. There are other inappropriate things you can do with your sexuality, like masturbate. That's just some biological thing that you're just not going to have enough energy. You're just going to be depleted with your sexual energy is going to be lost. That's not really a moral issue. We're only talking about other living beings, things that hurt others. Things that hurt others is immoral and leads to your life being bad, to their life being bad, to everything being bad. But most importantly, your life and the victim's life. So you're not going to benefit, you're not going to profit at all from these first three immoral actions. And they rank in severity. So killing is not as severe as stealing, and this is actually not in relevance. They're not relevance in degrees. I just realized that. So, but definitely there are more severe cases. For example, killing is much more severe than lying or stealing. So that's number three, which leads me to the next one is lying. Let's see if I miss anything about sexual misconduct. People that are protected the Buddha talks about people that are under the protection of their parents, which means children. People that are under the protection of parents or guardians also should be exempt from sexual activity. That's not an appropriate place to handle sexual energy because the person is still under the protection of guardians, and until that person grows up, that's just off limits and no place to go. So we're talking about consenting adults, things that are legal, things that are moral, things that don't hurt other living beings. That is what classifies morality. So that's number three, my friends, sexual misconduct. We've talked about killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and now the fourth one, which is lying. Lying can be broken up into four parts, or more technically, it's called false speech or wrong speech. Wrong speech is of four kinds. So the fourth aspect of morality is lying or wrong speech, and wrong speech is of four kinds. The first one is lying. Lying is the most severe one, it's the most relevant one to this topic. Lying means intentionally deceiving people. I'm going to give you an example of lying. My friends, today I'm going to benefit with your gift of $1,000. Anybody that emails me or messages me on social media, I'm going to instantly give you $1,000. But secretly, my intention is behind the scenes, for those that don't know, for those that can't hear, I am just saying this because I want more social media followers and I have no intention of paying them and I have no money to offer them or to give them. That's intentionally lying. For you to lie like that, you have to have so many confusing beliefs. First of all, that there's some scarcity in the world, that you have to bend the truth, you have to steal, you have to lie, you have to steal also, you're kind of stealing here. And you're strengthening these beliefs, you're strengthening these wrong beliefs that don't align with nature. Nature is not scarce, there is abundance in nature. Look at the grass, look at the rain that falls, look at the sunlight, look at the water, look at the air, look at a life inside of this. Life is an abundance, life is abundant. You may have scarcity right now, or maybe there's some scarce elements in the earth, but there's no scarcity anywhere in the universe. Things are in abundance. Gold is in abundance. Maybe it's scarce on this planet, but gold is in a massive abundance on the planet, or in the universe, excuse me. Diamond, all kinds of minerals, all kinds of elements. This doesn't mean that you should be just blatant with your resources. Oh, I'm in abundance, I'm going to throw away my gold. That's not responsible either, that's not sane. But anyway, we're talking about beliefs here. So you have to have wrong views, wrong conclusions in life to be able to lie. Also, you have to have some sense of fear. People lie out of fear because you're afraid of what? Not getting enough social media followers, or you're afraid of having your loved one, we're talking about different examples now, having your loved one figure out the truth of the situation of your life, or afraid of your boss from finding out something, that's why you lie, or you're afraid of the child losing its innocence, that's why you tell them Santa Claus or some other nonsense. So we lie for many reasons, and the most important one, the most significant one is fear. Fear or greed or hatred or jealousy, or basically the only reason why you would lie is because of some negativity or some bad feeling inside of you. You're afraid, so you lie. I lie too. I've not lied. Maybe the amount of times that I've lied can be summed up in like a few dozen, but not more than that since I was 19 years of age, for the last 10 years. Why? Because I know this principle. I know that I have to abide by this. I have to abide by this training rule of not lying, of speaking the truth. Sometimes it's not always conducive or convenient to say the truth, so you just be silent. That's not lying. But never intentionally misuse or deceive people. That's not the way to go. That'll hurt you. That'll harm you for a long time. And so that's lying. That's the first part of wrong speech. Now we get to the part where Dr. Rob fails miserably at. The second is harsh language or harsh speech, meaning using swear words, using curse words, using very filthy, disgusting words. He uses that, and in abundance. Not just one word, easily, effortlessly, just here and there. Hey, F you this, F you that, R this word, R that, your R this word, your R that word. It's hard to listen to. Can we all just appreciate that? Can we all agree that? Can we get some W's in the chat if you're a members only? Or can we get some super chats going if you find this content valuable, if you think this is worthwhile? That it's hard to hear. It hurts your ears. You should hide your children when people are saying harsh words. You should just turn people away from that if you're hearing that. That's not appropriate, right? I think we can all agree with that. So it's hard to hear, exactly. It's hard to hear, it's hard to listen to, and that's why we don't say it. It causes people harm. It causes people pain. So I have to look at it in my own life that I want to stop swearing so much, even though I don't swear that much, but sometimes I let it out, sometimes I use the F word and sometimes it's appropriate, sometimes it's an adequate word to describe the experience, and it's a powerful impact. But constantly, all the time, unskillfully, it hurts the people, it hurts you, it hurts the people. And these words also convey something wrong, like the word shit this, shit that. Buddy, shit is to be put in the toilet and flushed. Keep shit away from me. The word F, F you, F this, F that. Well, that's also kind of weird. You're talking about the bedroom, that's whatever. But the intention and the energy behind this and the reason why you're saying this, so that's wrong. That's just a little word, F. There's much harsher words, and using harsh language to communicate, to speak, it hurts others, it's painful to hear. The Buddha said it's not kind to the senses, it's not pleasant. So if you have an intention to hurt other people's senses or to have an effect that's uncomfortable, that's already bad karma. That's already, you're making the fruits for pain. That's why you should not use harsh words, harsh speech. You should use gentle words, gentle speech. That's exactly what the Buddha said, is be gentle with your words, be gentle with your speech. So lying is number one. Number two is harsh speech. Number three is divisive speech. So we kind of touched upon this. I kind of did that in a few moments ago, talking about Dr. Rob. But in this context, I'm educating you. I'm not being divisive in this way. What will be divisive is, for example, if I were to say, do not listen to Dr. Rob, do not donate to him, I don't agree with him, and did you know, behind his back, I'm going to say these things to you, I'm going to say something secret, shh, he's really an evil person, or he's really a bad person, don't listen to him, don't believe him. Why? Just to cause division. Not only are you causing division with the actual people, if that's your intention, you're actually causing division inside of your mind. That's not the right way of doing it. You want to be inclusive. You want to bring people together. If there's a disagreement, you bring them together and you resolve the disagreement. Human beings survive and thrive not because we are divisive and we divide each other and we go separate ways, is when we include each other and we come together and we work together on things. And so don't be divisive, don't gossip, don't talk behind people's backs. This is the third point of false speech. And last but not least, my friends, is idle chatter, useless chatter, worthless speech, speech that has no meaning or relevance to anybody, just blabbling. People that gossip do this a lot, people that really are bored and just saying nonsense one after the other. That's what happens, that's why they do that. And this is wasting people's time. So it also clouds the mind, it pollutes the mind, and it makes people think more than they need to. If I talk about things like this, you're gonna go away from this conversation, you're gonna be uplifted, guaranteed. But if I just start talking about random nonsense of I did this and I did that, and I'm just blabbling about anything, all I'm doing is filling your mind with more words, and you're gonna leave the situation, and at the best case scenario, you're just gonna be kind of neutral, but probably you're gonna degrade. And if you tried meditating afterwards, it's not gonna be so easy. So after this live stream is over, if you go and meditate, it'll be very conducive for you. And number fifth, my friends, last part is, so don't uselessly blabber and don't do this. And the fifth thing is, do not intoxicate your mind. So taking drugs, taking alcohol, taking any kind of thing that takes you away from sobriety is not the way to go. It doesn't lead you to anything that's good or positive. And the Buddha also said that the reason why you don't want to take any kind of psychedelic drugs or anything that takes you away from sobriety is because it leads you to breaking the first four moral precepts. It leads you to lie, it leads you to kill, it leads you to abuse your sexual energy, it leads you to these four things. So that's basically it, my friends. That's the whole story. That's what I want to share with you. That's what I want to get off my heart and get off my chest. I wanted to do this quick live stream. If you have questions, let me know. Send it in the form of a super chat and I'll read it. If not, I'll read it regardless. So yeah, send your questions. I'm sure you have lots to say. And then most likely I'll go live stream with Dr. Rob. I'm sure he has calmed down and he's still live streaming. So the 5 moral precepts, my friends, this is something that is a pillar in my life, something that I hold close to myself, something that I won't let go of, something that I want to continue to strengthen, and something that I encourage you to follow as well. So why would I put on the members only? Because people were spamming, saying that I'm some sort of bad person or this or that. So I didn't appreciate those comments and I wanted to kind of talk silently. Creating political change and alleviating necessary human suffering. Yeah, absolutely. How did you come to know about this business of religion in India? Through Sadhguru, through the Buddha's teachings, through S.N. Goenka. That's how I came across that. Why is Rob such a toxic person? Because he's done bad actions in his life. That's my guess, at least that's my assumption. Drinking, lying, stealing, doing bad, immoral things. But he's getting better. I think he's getting better. Yep. So have you completed engineering? Yes, I have completed engineering. I recommend you do the same thing. Go to Inner Engineering website and sign up. It'll change your life. It's a fantastic meditation process that you'll get initiated by Sadhguru. So, yeah. What else? What other questions do you have? Comments? I'm here to read it all and to help you. Before I go live stream with Dr. Rob, my friends, I'm doing this live stream because I want to bring some genuine value to you, and I genuinely am seeking ways more that I can do that. So whatever way I can make this more engaging and more pleasant and more fun and more informative, that's what I will do. Yep, I won't get on this. Yep. I smoke weed. Okay, it's not worth to steal. You're increasing the awareness of other vulnerability. Yep. It's not wrong to steal. It's wrong to steal, absolutely. It is wrong to steal. You're taking things that are not given to you. That's not yours to begin with. It's immoral and it will cause you pain. So, yeah.
But not everybody fits into the same box.
Let me know what other questions you have. I'll be happy to read them. Yes, I did get trolled very, very hard, in fact, and I had to turn on members only. I'm answering
I want to join your stream.
Dr. Rob's question. Yeah, you should join my stream, and I'll tell you the reasons why, because... let's see.
Can't even hear him.
Yes, I did get trolled very, very hard, in fact. The reason why I want you to join my stream is because I'm just a few days away from acquiring my new piece of technology, which will help us live stream for many, many years to come. I'm not thinking about this short term, I'm thinking about this long term. And right now you have 2 phones, I only have 1 phone. This is only appropriate for you to do this with me right now, and it's just how it is. But my friend, and I'm saying this publicly to the live stream for 100 people, that I'm willing to pay you back in a big, big, massive way, because you've helped me massively, not just financially. I'm sure I'll give you some gifts financially, maybe buy you like a little hot dog somewhere there or something. But you're in debt in my heart.
Do you want me to suck your dick?
Jesus.
Learn about Buddha. Do about it.
Financially, I'm sure I'll give you some gifts financially, maybe buy you like a little hot dog or something.
You want to
Jesus.
fuck me? Want to learn about Buddhism? Great. Good. You and me both.
All right, my friends, let's read some of your super chats here. Thank you very much for. I was very happy to read a super chat and see the colors. So it's me, Alex. Donates €9 or pounds, 9 pounds, I think. Don't be tight, chat. Hit his goal. Let us hit his goal. Yeah, I think I will hit my goal. And thank you very much. And the funds are going towards me creating a more conducive environment for everybody, my friend. I want to help everybody. I want to improve the life of everybody. This is that way that you succeed as a human being. So I'm not here to steal. I'm not here to lie. I'm not here to misuse sexuality. I'm not here to intoxicate my mind. I'm not here to kill. And the way that you succeed in your life, the way you become a better quality human being is helping life grow. So I'm here to help your life grow in whatever little way that I can. Some people find these live streams helpful, and people find that what I'm saying helpful. So that's why I'm doing this. And I'm planning to do this more often. And I'm raising money, essentially this is what the goal is for, to acquire a new piece of technology, a new phone, to live stream not only with myself, but with Dr. Rob, with higher quality, that will give me access to more of an audience. So if you think my message is worthwhile, and first and foremost, my friends, fundamentally, everything that I stand for has been summed up in this live stream, this 1-hour video. This is the foundation, is the 5 moral precepts, the Buddha's 5 moral precepts of teaching morality. This is what I stand on. I don't go anywhere outside of this. This is the pillar. This is what I don't do. So when you see me saying something online, unless I'm being kind of jokingly this, you have to kind of see if I'm not acting, you can say, or I'm not trying to be fun. If I say something like I don't share donations with Dr. Rob, that is the truth. I'm not lying here. So I understand the consequences of lying. I'm not being deceptive. I don't do that ever. Sometimes, you may hear that I'm silent. Well, then that means I don't want to say whatever the truth is. But I'm not going to lie to you. That's one thing I'm not going to do. Have I ever lied to the YouTube channel? Maybe once somebody asked me something a long time ago. No, not really. I just stay silent, so I don't really lie. But somebody was trying to press me on something that I allegedly did way back in the day, and it may have had some consequences, and I just kind of said something that diffused the situation, but not really lied. So I've never lied intentionally to you, ever, ever. I've never said one thing, but in my mind I thought, okay, I'm gonna actually scheme, or I'm gonna do something else, or I'm gonna intentionally go the other way. That's not the way to do it. Maybe my actions are unskillful. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a moron. That's also a possibility. It's a huge possibility. And bear with me, okay? Because I'm learning. I'm 30 years old. I've gotten much more matured, much more grounded, and that's the process that we're all engaging in. And I'm willing to learn, and I'm learning through my process here. So let's see. Thank you. So thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your vote of confidence in me.
Let's find a bunch of freak people online.
Okay, he's just trying to attack the haters. So if you have any questions, read them out, send them to me. I'll answer them. Anything that relates to spirituality, I'm here to answer your questions, to give back. You're just doing fine. Stay humbled and walk in grace. Absolutely. Humbled, humility and grace humility is the key, and we all need grace. You're not doing too bad, young man. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm 53 and still a bit dopey at times. Well, we all have a lot to learn, no matter what age we are in. But make no mistake, my friend, at 53, you're much higher than me in terms of wisdom and evolution, in terms of living life on Earth. Much more stability and groundedness, at least we can say. You've passed many more cycles than I have, and anybody that's older than you is this way. So anybody that's an elder physically is an elder. That's just the facts of life. And it's not because they're older, we need to take care of them or whatever, they can't take care of themselves. No, because they've just passed more cycles and they've experienced more. And that's not something you can fake. That's not something you can meditate your way into. Your body has to pass those years for you to evolve through that. Shiva is great until Rob comes around. Thanks. How do you live with yourself, Shiva? I just live like this. Do you need spirituality to be humble? It helps big time. I don't know if you need it, but it helps. I love your message today. Amazing, my friend. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support, the good feedback. I'm a high power is all knowing. Okay. I've got my first kid on the way. When it's ideal to become teaching meditation. Wow, that's fantastic. The ideal time to begin teaching meditation is in the womb. So I hope your wife is meditating. I hope you're doing spiritual activities with her, and that those positive vibrations travel into the fetus. So start right now. Start today. Why do you let Rob use you as a doormat? That will change once I get my new phone. So donate to my phone fund. I'll get my phone very, very soon. This is the last stretch, last few donations that I require. And then we're gonna go out and we're gonna acquire this piece of technology. Then he won't be able to do that because I'll have the same audio quality as him. He won't talk over me. So if you wanna contribute, send a few dollars, send whatever you can. The donation link also is in the bottom below. If you wanna donate large amounts, I encourage that, I ask for that. Either on my website or my PayPal, shivakailash.com, then YouTube doesn't take any fees. But if you want to send a super chat, if you want your question to be read, then super chat is the best way to go. In my 42 years, I've learned that age doesn't bring wisdom, it's about experience. Yep. This is what makes change. I can feel high vibration. Nice. He's a creator, beautiful. Also, what would you, good first lesson in meditation journey? Also, what would a good first lesson be in a meditation journey? Well, the fact that there is no time, there's just right now. This is the only time you can meditate, right now. I don't mean to go sit with your legs crossed right now because you can't meditate with being on this live stream. Being aware of what's happening inside of you. That's what meditation is. So be aware of the present moment right now. Be aware of the reality of the situation. Don't be lost in your own daydreams or imagination. Be aware of the present moment, the way your body feels, the situation, the surroundings. Maybe you need to attend to something. Maybe you need to end this live stream and go do something else. That's a possibility. It's a very strong possibility. So be aware. What if a man that grew up in an alien contaminated unit, never spoke to any of you in his way for 80 years in this hypothetical man, is he still wise? This is something to do with the body. It's not that he's going to tell you wisdom like he's the Buddha or something, but an 80-year-old man that has passed through the cycles of life, that passed through 12 sun cycles, oh man, the body has and experienced a certain kind of grounding, a certain kind of stability. That's not something you can fake ever. I just want to say God bless, be happy, stay, and Sunday, good afternoon, no matter what people say are going on in India, to India, and for how long. Yeah, so I'm still going to India. For how long, that's to be determined, but probably for a few months. So look forward to when I'm there. When he uses a doormat, he uses one also. Yeah, I mean, that's Dr. Rob. We need to help him. If I F another man, you're both yep. If a higher power is all knowledge and has divine path for everyone to do it next to the free will, we're just following a script. I don't know, it's beyond my pay grade. If you want me to talk about it in depth, send a super chat. I micro meditate throughout the day. Nice, that's what it's all about. There is so much more to being a human than just living. Yeah, that's true. Does a bear shit in the woods? Yep. I was wiser at 7 years old and I'm 37. You were not wiser, you were more happier and joyful. And now you're probably not like that. Your very advanced friend, you know that you're talking around the past and future is only found in present. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. Free will is an illusion. Yeah. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please send a super chat. Highly appreciate it.
And buy some bullshit clothes. But guess what? I don't give a fuck about bullshit brands. And if I went out and spent $10,000 on clothes, wouldn't be any skin off my back, but I don't care about that kind of stuff. Now, like I said, if I was a millionaire, then and I really didn't care to that degree, then sure, I'll go. I guess I would shop at a place like that just out of convenience. But my wife makes clothes for me, and we buy the fabrics ourselves. So we don't need to buy just stupid, expensive clothes. And however the world is today, a lot of things are economical. High-end DSLR 4K camera for live streaming, studio quality.
Okay, my friends, if nobody has any questions or super chats, then we're going to end the live stream here and send an invite to Dr. Rob. That will be much more entertaining live stream. You can tune in, you can ask your questions, or you can participate. And that will be very, very fun. So unless you have very hard heading questions, or if you want me to go in depth on a subject, then I'll be here for another 1 or 2 minutes. Otherwise, we're going to end it here and go with Dr. Rob. I found determinism a few years ago. It seems it makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. Have a good day, Shiva. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your donation. You got a cool, yep. May you all be peaceful. May you all be happy. May you all be liberated. Thank you very much. See you soon. See you in the next live stream. Bye. In 5 minutes.